Welcome to the Grappling Grappling Rewind Podcast.
Welcome to this week on the Grappling Rewind Podcast. On this week's show, we are going to preview the Craig Jones Invitational 2. Last week, we talked about the women's $10,000 tournament. This week, we're going to break down 4 of the 8 teams that are in the men's quintet style event. Basically, what we do last week, go through all the big names and all the names in general on those teams, talk about why you should care, talk about their big matchups, and basically why we are excited for the Craig Jones Invitational 2 here in a couple of weeks. As always in the show, I'm your host, Maine, to my co-host,
Miranda.
Hey, Miranda.
Pretty good. How are you?
Doing pretty good. On the second intro, that was good. We just completely bobbled the first intro, so you're getting a repeat here.
Well, we wound up doing the pre-show for the next two. Next two podcasts, basically. So
basically, this week, the reason why we're doing only 4 teams is because essentially, CJI2 is huge. It has every big name in the grappling world in this tournament.
Unless you were taken by the UFC.
Unless you were taken by the UFC Fight Pass or UFC Road to BJJ Championship.
Yeah.
You're here. And instead of just condensing all these guys into one mega show that just gets long after a while, we have a couple of weeks till we fly out. Basically, half the team for Grappling Rewind flies out to Vegas to go watch this thing live. We figured let's do 4 of the teams this week, and then 4 of the teams next week. Makes it a little more digestible. Let's just dive into these guys a little bit more. We're probably not going to have a ton of time to talk about each guy because essentially it's 1, 2, 3. We have 20 guys to talk about today. That gets a little long, but basically we're going to talk about the highlights, like why each guy is interesting. They're basically their biggest wins, not as much of their losses this week because the notes that we have this week less losses, but more about where their biggest wins are coming from, what to watch out for, and why we are excited to preview these. So this week on the show, we're going to preview Team 10 Planet, Team Australasia, Team America, and Team Europe. On next week's show, we're going to do Team New Wave or King's Way. We're going to do the B team, we're going to do Atos, and we're going to do Pedigo submission fighting. So look out for next week because next week will be essentially everything else. And then next week we'll also probably go into more of like the potential rematches and the matchups. Yeah. Like next week will be much closer of a preview show to, it'll be kind of a team preview and a bit more of like an event preview itself. Yeah. This week's show is mainly just an athlete preview of like, hey, why should you care that these guys are here? Why we're excited that we're going to go to this event.
When you think about it, we have to do a show when we're in Vegas because you won't be in time to actually make the time to do the show before your deadline on Tuesday. You guys are flying back on Monday.
Oh, yeah.
We have to do a show in Vegas. So
I mean, we technically don't have to do anything, but we've only missed one show in 400 episodes, and that was episode 3. So
you guys might get a very an interesting show out of this.
Might get an interesting show. The live shows are always the most viewed shows and the worst shows we ever do, which is like a horrible combination to have for listenership and viewership.
We'll do it from the pool. It'll be fun.
We're definitely doing it from the pool. But now I realize I also have to bring a camera because I have a new remote podcast setup that we use. But now I have to bring a camera as well, and I'm like, oh, that's a pain, and then a computer. So it'll be fun.
I have a GoPro.
Those do not record a 2-hour show. So no news this week because we're just going to get to the athletes. Again, this week's show is going to be on the quicker side as far as like information, just because we have so many guys to go through. I don't want to dig into 10 years of records for everyone because again, we're previewing 20 guys. Even if you spend a minute on each guy, it's easily 20 minutes to just talk about basic accomplishments, so we're going to run through.
And for news, because we should probably cover this real quick, we have had the addition of Wagner Hosha to the New Wave Jiu-Jitsu team.
A second wild card has hit the team.
Yeah, after Big Dan was removed.
And as a result, basically, Giancarlo Bodoni, who was previously at 88 kilos, is going up to 99. And Luke Griffith, who was previously at under 99, is going up to plus 99. Again, it's kind of funny because it doesn't really matter because it's a quintet style event. Yeah. So it's like, I mean, Giancarlo probably had to cut weight to make 88. Miki's going to have to cut weight for 77. Dorian's going to have to cut weight for 66. Yeah. But Wagner's not going to have to cut that much weight for 88. Giancarlo doesn't have to cut. Luke Griffith doesn't have to cut. Yeah. So it doesn't really change the dynamic of their team hugely, other than like everyone just slots up. Yeah. They make their weight, and then because it's a quintet style tournament, any of these guys can face any of these other guys. So one thing to keep in mind as we preview this, not as much this week, more so next week. Any person that we are talking about this week has the potential to face any other person not on their team in this entire tournament.
Yes.
Because it's a quintet style event, we're going to see your 66 kilo guy go against your plus 99,
Yeah.
or your under 99, or your 77, or you're going to see your 88 kilogram guy, the same thing, go against everyone.
Yeah.
So we're not going to get too into kind of matchup previews because there is just no ability. There's just a waste of time to do that now because everyone can literally fight everyone. We also don't have a bracket yet.
Yeah.
So we don't even know what teams are facing each other in the first round.
But we finally do know the start times, which is
6 p.m. on Saturday, baby, Vegas time.
6 p.m. Vegas time. So our East Coast friends, we're sorry, dude.
We're not getting out of that event until 1 a.m. Vegas time.
And all of us
and
we're all flying out day of, so it's going to be a very long.
Oh
day
wait, I'm
for
flying
us.
out in the morning. We're going
You're
to land.
flying, yeah. You
we're
better
gonna
sleep on
land
that
Saturday morning.
You
I'm
better
gonna be
sleep on
so
that airplane.
tired.
You better sleep on that airplane.
We're just gonna go hard for 3 days, and I'm gonna take off Tuesday. So that's the story. So without further ado here, let's run through the teams we're gonna cover today. Team 10th Planet, I'm gonna run through an order 66 to 99. Geo Martinez, Alan Sanchez, PJ Barch, Ryan Aitken, Kyle Bain. Team Australasia, Fabricio Andre is your wild card. Kenta Iwamoto, Lucas Kennard, Declan Moody, and Bilal Etrabadi. Team Americas is Gavin Corbray, his brother DeAndre Corbray, Eliza Dorsey, your wild card at under 99, Taylor Perlman, and Pat Downey at plus 99. Team Europe, we have Owen Jones, Paolo Jaworski, your wild card at under 88 kilos is Paul Ardilla, Charles Negromonte, and Marcin Machulowicz at plus 99.
Yep.
So those are the names that we're running through today, basically. Running through those guys' accolades, why we care, why it's super cool to have them. Notably, Team 10th Planet does not have a wild card. They're one of the only teams in this tournament that does not have a wild card. The only other team that has no wild card is Pedigo Submission Fighting. We're talking about Pedigo next week, but it is really interesting that every team has a wild card except for those two teams. And now Team New Wave, Team Kingsway has 2 wild cards, which people kind of got upset about online. I do kind of like, hey man, either the team falls apart and you have to field a new team or you just slot another guy in.
Don't get me wrong. The fact that they got Micah is kind of bullshit. Like, let's take a good team and then give them one of the best guys in the world. Why didn't they put one of the best guys in the world on one of the teams that's a little more, suspect?
Man, Mika's a tough dude to be. But yeah, in the format, this is also why, it is Mika versus can a guy hold him down and not get submitted by him?
Mika swears that he is going to do every division and beat everybody. Remember, he said that at Who's Number One. Didn't he say he was going to go up?
I can watch it. He might be able to do it. Who knows?
He said he wanted to go against the guy the heavyweight champion right now.
Heinen? Pedro?
No, Pedro.
Light heavyweight.
Yeah.
Is he heavyweight now?
Late heavyweight.
Okay.
Gets light heavy, yeah.
I'll watch that matchup. So that's who we're previewing today. For reference, next week, Team New Wave is Dorian Oliveras, Mickey Gaval, Wagner Hosha, Giancarlo Bodoni, Luke Griffith. Team B team is Ethan Carlston, Joseph Chen, Chris Wojcik, Nick Rodriguez, Victor Hugo. Team Atos is Diego Pato Oliveira, Ronaldo Jr., Lucas Barbosa, Kynan Duarte, Felipe Pena. And Team Pedigo Submission Fighting is Max Hansen, Dante Leon, Jacob Couch, Michael Pixley, Brandon Reed. So you have that to look forward to next week. This week it's basically the teams that are place names. And then Team 10th Planet. So let's start with Team 10th Planet, the only team that doesn't have a wild card here on today's show. Under 66 kilos. 66 kilos. I'm excited. I'm talking fast. You have Geo Martinez. One of the older guys in the entire tournament, 37, 38 at the time of the tournament. He basically gets most of his big wins here through EBI, through the early EBIs, winning EBI 1, EBI 2, EBI 10, ADCC US Trials champion back 2014, 10 plus years ago, when those tournaments were very, very different. If you
and you could have a game like his that's a little not so standard, and you could confuse people.
Yes, the thing is really interesting. They kind of as we completely go off kilter immediately here on the show. Go back and look at and watch the early ADCC trials prior to the Muscle Farm one in 2018 or 2019. The events prior to that were not nearly as big.
Oh, no.
It was, wow, you can look at the brackets of Tonin wins early and you're like, oh, there's 40 guys here.
But it's also in a gym.
It's also a gym, but it's also the caliber, your average level of guy is super, super high level for those trials. It was very much less open than it is now. very few guys were just kind of running and going to trials and like going competing. Nowadays, there's many more guys that really, I'm happy they're there, but the first 2 rounds are a bloodbath in a way that they didn't used to be back in like 2014 when Geo was winning.
That's for entertainment purposes.
Yeah, they were exciting matches though. When you watch like Keith Ricorian run against a guy like me, and you're like, "Ooh, he shouldn't be here," and then Keith just murders you. You're like, "Yep, that's what this looked like." So, Geo Martinez, old school guy, 15 EBI 15, second place. Notably, he has big wins over like Jeff Glover back in 2015 at ADCC, the big slam, the triangle slam back in the day when everyone was like, "Oh, you can slam out of stuff in ADCC." He kind of like knocks Jeff Glover out in that match. And then he also has a win over Maine Miranda at a Quintet event.
Yeah.
That is his big win. That is like the big highlight reel win. You ever see your Geo Martinez, like that is the win that always comes up, is that Maine Miranda win. We've been talking about Rita a lot recently because he's kind of come back into the competition scene. Really, really good. But again, Geo's been a little less consistent at the top level in the last few years, but is super familiar with Quintet and is absolutely game to take on anyone and has a really unorthodox style to beat a lot of guys. Moving on, we have Alan Sanchez at under 77 kilos for 10th Planet. EBI champion, EBI 19 back in 2024. So a more recent ADCC champion, known for the buggy choke. Right? Sanchez is a buggy choke specialist, for better or for worse a lot of times. But he has a win over Oliver Taza in overtime. His wins over John Combs, Andrew Tackett in those formats. But a more recent black belt, but primarily known for like the Who's Number One stuff recently, and having you're making a squint. Like,
no, it's
wrong.
just when you were talking about him being known for buggy chokes.
Is that Renee Souza?
Yeah, that's
I'm flipping those two guys together.
That's Renee Souza.
Why.
Alan Sanchez is the one that I always am like, who's Alan? Because he has a name that's very like.
There's like 3 guys that are Sanchez, and he's been in tournaments with all of them, and I've always like swapped Alan Sanchez. Yeah, my bad.
This is the
not Renee Souza.
He's like from the middle of the desert, and he's a 10th Planet guy, but you don't realize he's a 10th Planet guy.
Yes. That's a really good way to
for me, like
Sanchez.
he just shows up and I'm like, who's that? And then
Sanchez, right.
and then he like beats everyone. I'm like, oh,
right, Alan
that's
Sanchez,
who that
right?
is.
Yeah, sorry, I mixed him up with Renee Souza.
I was like, he's not built to do that.
Yeah, I was looking at his face. I'm going like, I just see why is the buggy choke guy? It's Renee Souza.
That's
so
NA.
Big wins over Combs and Tackett earlier in their career. PJ Barch is your under 77 kilo. Under 88 kilos for this one guy, which is interesting. PJ Barch, 3rd place ADCC 2024. Dude's a monster. Notably, beats JT Torres in that tournament. JT Torres was the returning 2-time champion that didn't have a point scored against him.
He's very good, but he winds up having like really bad missteps that aren't always his fault. Like his knee blows.
He gets unlucky.
He gets unlucky in situations. And it's not that he can't beat the people he goes against. He just gets really unlucky with scoring or just like his body failing him.
Yes. Really, really good wrestler. Fought MMA back in the day. He is like... The best way to describe PJ Barch is like you can never count Barch out, and he doesn't have the traditional 10th Planet like kind of like game plan.
No, he's more.
Things.
I think he's more of I didn't want to do gi because I fought MMA and wrestled.
And 10th Planet back then was like, we don't care.
10th Planet is the only place that you can go and not have to do gi. And he's
back in the day when he really started getting into it, other places like make you do the gi, and 10th Planet was like, yeah, man, just wear the pants, don't wear the pants, rip it. Yeah. So Barch has always had like a very wrestling heavy style and has always given problems. He has wins over Tommy Langacker. Let's see, where his other big wins. Whenever I think of Barch is one of the best counter leg lockers in the world. Yeah. I always think of that match that he had versus ADCC.
Another gentleman in this bracket. He counter leg locked him recently.
I'm trying to think of who it is.
It's
I'm looking at his face. I called his match at Fight to Win 281 in DC. He was the main event. Dorsey. Elijah Dorsey. He was beating Dorsey, and late in the match at ADCC, he just sits back. Dorsey sits back for a footlock, and you see Barch just go, interesting, and just counter leg lock Dorsey. And you know how good Dorsey is. Beats Nicky Ryan. Like, just incredibly frustrating to beat. to be able to counter leg lock a guy like that, very, very
The
impressive.
children would say that Barch has that dog in him.
He do have that dog in him. And we've seen him have that dog in him. Now, notably, Barch has run into some problems when he comes into guys like Andrew Tackett.
Yeah.
But who hasn't had problems with Andrew Tackett?
We know personally people who have had problems with Andrew Tackett.
Your coach.
Yes.
Every time Tackett shows up on Fight Pass, it's never like, that was a rough match, man.
Yeah.
Barch literally has that dog in him, and he's just specifically hard to beat everywhere. He does have a recent loss to Renato Canuto via heel hook, but also has wins over Renato Canuto via leg lock. So it's like he's a guy that's always in the mix. Again, you don't get third
And
at
this
ADCC.
time, and this time he's not doing a huge run of like I have to do all these seminars and craziness to get to ADCC Worlds and have the money and have the finances and have everything together to do that. Because I feel like before he did do his bronze medal run at the last
he was
trials,
a little beat up. He was a lot beat up.
He was doing a shit ton of seminars everywhere, and he was like, it seemed like he was doing everything and running around. This time he's his own gym. He's there. He's training. He's kind of getting himself right for this.
Yeah. So I think we expect to see Barch is one again. I think by the numbers, the best guy on Team Head Planet.
Yes.
Like he's just phenomenally good.
Well, all around, yeah. I think Ryan Aitken, who we're going to talk about next, is one of the ones that people they don't pay attention to. Like,
I think he's starting to become more of a known quantity
he's
now.
kind of a sleeper.
Mm-hmm. So under 99 kilos, we have Ryan Aitken, PGF champion 2024. He was also the MVP of that entire event.
Because I think he had the most
everything. He had the most subs.
Yeah.
He looked phenomenal at the big PGF season 6, man. He came out again. He's won EBI 2021. He's a combat jiu-jitsu champion as well. I think he's a defending combat jiu-jitsu champion.
I think so
a couple of times. He has I think he's a 2-division combat jiu-jitsu champion as well. 85 and 205. I think like Aitken is a guy that has primarily thrived in like the EBI style overtime rules. And initially we kind of gave him some grief for that, where it's like, can he win? And then we started to see him I started to give him his credit in PGF. Yeah. Because I looked at that, we watched that entire tournament, we broke down that entire tournament on the show, and it was like, he's beating a lot of these guys straight up and not like, he's not relying on the overtime. Yeah. He's just, he can win, he can beat you in overtime. And if you get his back, like, cool, he doesn't really care. Like, he's phenomenally hard to deal with. Like, Roberto Jimenez got his back, and it was like, if Roberto Jimenez is struggling to finish you, was that Aitken?
Roberto beat Aitken.
Yeah, he beat him.
Yeah,
but like didn't sub him. And it was like, if Roberto can get your back and can't put you away, like that speaks volumes to like your level of, especially in this quintet format. Dude is hard to put away, which at least takes another member of their team out. So I think he has a great style for this, where it's like, just because he's so hard in the EBI rules to put away.
They are making him. Don't they have to win? Doesn't one person have to win?
But I'm saying at least at worst case scenario, Aitken doesn't get eliminated. Yeah. He probably just he mirror eliminates both guys. Which I think is really interesting kind of, wrinkle in Aitken's style is like, because he is so hard to put away that he immediately, you can kind of rely on him to take out, at least by draw, the other guy on the other side. So it's a really interesting kind of dichotomy.
But they're not doing draws because it's a 10-point must system. So one person has to win 1 points.
But for Quintet, I
think they're still doing the 10-point must system. But one person has to win. But I don't know if that person moves on if they don't sub them. But I'm almost positive they still are going to have a winner, and you're going to get some kind of point system from that winner.
That would make sense. Yeah, we don't always, honestly, oddly, there's still a lot we don't know about how this tournament's going to run. Yeah. We got the times this week. So moving on, Aitken is, I think, just a nightmare in the rule set because he's so hard to put away. Next and last in the team, we have Kyle Bain, ADCC West Coast Trials winner 2022. He takes a really interesting win over Big Dan Manasaru, who basically decided to pull late in the round, got the point against him. Bain was able to win that entire division in that finals as a result of that. Has an old school win over Kainan Duarte from like 2017 at 5 Grappling. He has a loss to him later at 2021 at one of the Who's Number One events. And he has wins over guys like Tex Johnson. Like, Bame is just a dude that is notorious for being able to just break your legs off. Like for years, guys just would not let Bame touch their feet because he would just break your legs. And so that's what kind of Bame has been known for recently. Again, a little on the older side for this, 37, but also at plus 99, like the age starts to be a little less of a factor for the bigger guys. But again, he's going into divisions versus everyone, where he's potentially going to have like a 15-year seniority for some guys, or 20 years almost for some guys on the other end of it. So that is Team 10th Planet. Really interesting team lineup. Again, the only team that does not have a wild card coming into this event. And they were going to preview today.
So it does say they're going to stay. It says the winner stays on, and they do draw. They both are
okay.
eliminated.
So it is traditional quintet.
It is, but I was almost positive I read where it said that they were using.
I think the women are using a 10-point West system.
Oh, okay.
I think
they're 8-minute matches.
Yeah, like ADCC style 8-minute matches.
Yeah.
And then 4 minutes if there's a weight discrepancy. I think it's very, very similar to the traditional like Sakuraba run quintet events is what I understood it to be. But again, we have been wrong many a time on the show.
Well, and there is no published rules, so the problem is
we're kind of going off what we know from the last CJI and then all of the previous quintets and like trying to merge those two formats together to figure out like how close they're going to be to each other.
Yeah.
So any other closing thoughts on Team 10th Planet?
Nope.
All right, let's move on to Team Australasia. Oh, so Team 10th Planet is coached obviously by Eddie Bravo. Team Australasia is coached by Coach Lachlan Giles of ADCC bronze medal fame.
Yep.
For heel hooking all of the big guys in 2019 and everyone loving him.
Yeah, and some of the he had a trials. He had the Giles trials.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah.
So to win a slot, basically he had a really interesting way. They had a very public trials to basically decide the last one or two slots.
It was 2 slots.
2 slots on the team.
It was the plus 99 and under 99.
Yeah. And so we'll talk about that when we get to those guys. We'll talk about that. Yeah. So first, we're starting off their wild card. Their under 66 kilo wild card. They get Fabricio Andre, IBJJF world champion in 2021, 2-time South American trials winner in both 2022 and 2024. Fabricio Andre is a monster. Also a guy that is not scared of absolute.
No,
we saw him in the Polaris GP, the BJJ Stars GP, like 2 weeks ago or something like that. He had, sorry, in my notes, I have Big Baller in Polaris, beat Giancarlo and Owen Livesey, and then loses to Kynan. He also has a win over Dante Leon recently in Aiga. I just love that.
We were joking because with Kynan, he throws Kynan.
It was like a judo throw.
Yeah, he judo threw Kynan, and then Kynan was like, no, you
like,
not do that to me.
Fabricio Andre in Polaris.
Yeah.
It was one of the greatest events we ever, I think it was the event of the year in 2023.
Yeah, it was fun.
Is what we said. And Fabricio Andre is in this heavyweight absolute tournament. And we're like, Fabricio Andre should not be in this tournament. Like, he should not be. And then Fabricio Andre beats the first guy. And you're like, he beats that one. You're like, that's crazy. Yeah. Now he goes against current ADCC champion Giancarlo. And we're like, well, he's not going to beat Giancarlo. And then he beats Giancarlo and we go, I mean, he's not going to beat Kynan. And Kynan also goes, well, he's not going to beat me. Yeah. And then Fabricio makes it close. And we were like, no way. And then Kynan goes, I'm not going to let you beat me. Yeah. I'm not going to get Lachlan Giles again and beats him. But he's just a dog, man. I mean, he made it all the way to what? The semifinals he made the semifinals in the BJJ Stars GP 3 weeks ago. Like, he is the little guy that can still do it. I mean, except for ADCC, they put him against Victor Hugo in the first round at 2022, I think. When we were all like, oh, that's mean. And Victor Hugo beats him. But he's just phenomenal.
It still wasn't Pato versus Kynan when Kynan just put his knee on Pato's face. And
he was like, no. But again, sometimes the big guy's got to go like, yeah, man, you're really, really good. I'm not going to I'm going to be mean because I have to be because you're so good. I have to play like this. So do not count Fabricio Andre out of this, even as the smaller guy. Again, there's a reason that he is the wild card for Team Australasia. Like, all your wild card guys are guys that are like crazy good and their team or their camp just didn't have a team. Like, you're not getting a wild card slot as anything less than an absolutely elite grappler.
Yeah, you're a monster.
You're a monster and like you're one of the best in the world, which is why
when they announced him, it was hilarious because they had this big cutout of him.
They had the cutout of him at ADCC 2020. I
Is that where they stole it?
Yes,
Is that where they stole
that's
it
his
from?
walkout. That's his picture, and he
Oh.
looks just. Somebody thought it was Photoshop. I was like, no, that's what he looked like at ADCC. They're like, no, it's not. And I picked up his walkout, and they went, holy shit, he looked like that. I'm like, yeah dude, he was ripped for ADCC, and that's where he's from. So that is Fabrizio Andre. Again, if you can't figure it out, one of our favorite guys to watch. He's exciting. He brings the action. And he can punch up, man, in a big way. He does have a recent win in the absolute over Wagner Hosha in ADCC 2024 in the absolute. So that speaks to just how good he is, because Wagner is another wild card. Speaks to how good Fabrizio Andre is. Also on team Australasia, we have Kenta Iwamoto, 3-time ADCC Oceanic Trials winner. He won in 2019 at under 66 kilos, and then wins in 2022 and 2023. So 3 different ADCC cycles, but he wins the last 2 in 22 and 23 at under 77 kilos. I think Kenta's actually now bigger. I am very curious to see him get back down to 77 kilos, because I think that's going to be a bit of a cut for him. He's been walking around a little heavy the last couple of years. Yeah. So those are his big wins. He has a nice win over Keith Krikorian at Sogi up in New York. Yeah. He also has a really close win. A loss to JT Torres in 2022. Yeah. That was shockingly close. Yeah. We were all like, because usually how this works is like, you had JT Torres, your returning ADCC champion, and you had your Asian and Oceanic Trials winner. Usually they get torpedoed in the first round. Yeah. Which is why, again, he gets the champion, your number 1 seed versus your 16th seed. Yeah. To take JT and make that match as close as he did in 2022 really speaks to how good Kenta is.
His name is Kenta, and he likes to wrestle.
That is his. You love that interview.
Yeah, I do.
That's the interview he gave, I think, after he won in 22.
Yeah, it was wonderful.
And you love that interview. Yeah. Because that's like all he says in English. Yeah. But, and then JT wins the whole thing. So to put that in perspective of just how good Kenta, I think to have the closest match with JT that year in the first round, and then have JT still win the whole thing, it's like, oh yeah, Kenta's really, really good. Expect him to just be a problem for everyone.
And I believe Kenta's also at B Team right now with their training camp. So
I think he's there as well. Yeah. He's been at B Team off and on for a long time now.
Well, I think he came in for this one. He hadn't been there for a while.
Okay. Yeah. So he's, again, just looks phenomenal. Judo black belt, just really good, like oddly good Asian wrestler. Yeah. Like it is less common usually in like the IBJJF and ADCC to see like guys over from Asia that are phenomenal wrestlers. Kenta bucks that trend in a big way. His wrestling is a problem for guys in a way that you just do not. Nowadays you expect it, but like early on you're just like, oh, I didn't expect that. So Kenta, I love watching his game. He has an exciting, like pretty high paced, a lot of like shocks. Yeah. In like really interesting ways. Lucas Kennard. Lucas Kennard is your Asian Oceanic Trials winner for ADCC 2024. Didn't do ADCC, went over to CJI, and then took out number 1 seed Victor Hugo in the first round with a dope heel hook.
With like really fast too.
Yeah, and everyone was like, holy shit, Nick Rodriguez is going to win the whole thing now. Yeah. And then he did, largely in part due to Kynan. Sorry, I keep calling him Kynan. On the pre-show, I kept calling him Kynan Kennard. Yeah. Lucas Kennard. That is his big performance win. That is his big, like, his championship win. Yeah. Is that heel hook over Victor Hugo. Because, like, I think the only guy that beats Victor Hugo in Nogi recently is, like, Luke Griffith. Yeah. Like, other than that, Victor Hugo is just insanely, like Nick Rodriguez can't beat him. No one can beat him. Yeah. So to have Kennard be able to sub him was like, oh, yeah, Kennard makes this team for sure. He's under 88 kilos, which, again, also a smaller guy. Beating a guy like Victor Hugo is like really, really impressive. So next we have Declan Moody. He is the Asian and Oceanic Trials winner in 2023. He is also the Giles Trials winner. Yeah. So basically he won his slot for this team through winning the Giles Trials, like the Team Australasia Trials that Lachlan Giles hosted. He was the first spot, and then his counterpart Bilal Tribadi was the second place there. Yeah. So they both won a slot on this event. Declan's been at B Team. You took a class from Declan at B Team, and you were like very complimentary of like,
he was really good. Yeah. It was passing, and it was I'm trying to think what exactly pass it was. It was passing. I don't remember. I can't tell you right now. I'm half asleep.
Remember you texting the group, you're like, man, for a big guy, it was like really impressive. It was good.
Yeah, well, because you expect to get a class that's like, we push down, we be heavy.
You kick your leg under the half guard. You're like, hey man, I'm 150 pounds.
Yeah.
That does not work.
Yeah. But very and nice gentleman.
Yep.
Paid attention to everybody. Good deal.
He has a win over Felipe Andrew recently, heel hook in like a minute.
Yeah.
Like in June of this year. Does have a loss to Felipe Pena, but a pretty convincing loss. But again, exciting to have him here. I like Declan's style a lot. He's a big guy that plays.
Well, because he was a little man.
Yeah, he's a big guy that plays.
He's only been big recently.
Mm-hmm. He did get guillotined by Kaynan Duarte twice at ADCC.
And he did get taken out by Gordon Ryan. But
he did.
And
Jimenez. He's exciting, and he's been exciting to watch. So I'm happy to have him in here.
But we did have him win that. We had that recent win against Declan. Took out Felipe Pena, right? Felipe Andrew. Yeah, that was it.
Yep.
Felipe Andrew.
Like real quick.
Yeah, real quick recently, just to show.
Andrew like left his foot there.
Yeah.
And he was just like, oh, free foot, and boom. And which is a problem we've seen from Felipe Andrew in the past, but still like.
But it's good to see
impressive.
Declan ramp up as he. That's what I was going for. Yeah. Not just not knowing what I was talking about.
We'll get there. We have a lot of guys to cover. Moving on, Bilal Echabadi. We talked about him a little bit. He's not a guy that I'm super familiar with. He's full-time under Lachlan Giles. He gets second place at the Giles trials. That's it. I was impressed with what I saw, but overall, like most of our footage for what we've covered from him has been on the Giles trials. If you want to see it, it's on YouTube. You can go watch us run there. Solid grappler overall, but just not a lot of footage on him versus super high-level guys.
Yeah, he's done a lot of opens. He's done a lot of those subversion events that they had within Australia.
Those are fun events. I wish we covered those more often.
ADCCs here and there, the opens, but.
So that does it for anything else on Team Australasia. So let's move on to Team America, World Police, which is Coach Greg Souders.
The Misfits.
Which is the Misfits team, which is essentially the Maryland DMV team.
Yeah.
Basically, it's most of the guys from our region, my region.
All of these guys were at finishers, by the way. Not all of them, but
it's really funny.
Corbet was. The other Corbet was.
Hmm. Was Dorsey there?
No, Dorsey wasn't there. It was just Perlman was there, allegedly. I never saw him.
You didn't see him?
He allegedly was there. I heard somebody say that. And Greg Souders was there.
So Souders is here, standard, but this is Team Misfits. So it's Gavin Corbray and his brother DeAndre Corbray. Gavin's at 66 kilos. DeAndre's at 77 kilos. Gavin's big wins. Again, I've had the pleasure of commentating a bunch of Gavin wins on Copa, Virginia over the years. He's beat like Alexander Romanoff and stuff.
Yeah.
Actually, you and I commentated that match.
We did. Mm-hmm. It was
a little controversial. But it was good. Third place at West Coast Trials in 2023. He got beat by his brother in the semifinals of that event that year, which is maybe the only reason he didn't win that event was because his brother beat him. That is his biggest win. He's also competed on Zapatero. He got taken out in that, but just overall super dynamic, good wrestler, and just when he is on, performs phenomenally well. His brother, DeAndre Corbray, under 77 kilos, won the Zapatero $100,000 Invitational in 2025. In that, he beat Pato, and he beat Josh Cisneros in that event. That was his biggest event. He also, ADCC West Coast Trials winner 2023.
Yep.
DeAndre is that dude. DeAndre also was working full-time as an engineer until like a month ago. And only now, has gone full-time into jiu-jitsu.
Well, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, I'm just very curious now. He's like, he's not super, I think he's like 26, 27.
Some of us have to make the donuts.
There is that. But I'm really curious now that he is moving on to full-time, what level of improvement we're going to see. Because he's going to get better. He's going to get way better now that he's a full-time grappler. So I'm really curious how that goes. So he's very fun. Currently ranked number 4 in the world at under 77 kilos. Super, super fun to see him here. Other side, we have our wild card for Team DMV, Virginia, Baltimore, Maryland area.
Who's the wild card?
Elijah Dorsey.
No, he's not. Taylor Perlman is our wild card. Elijah
Dorsey.
Oh,
right. Okay, yeah.
Is a member of the team.
I always forget because Elijah Dorsey is Team Lord Irvin, TLI. Yeah. In my head, of course, he would be a wild card coming to standard.
Yeah.
But he's not. Sorry, not the wild
But
card.
it's not
Thank you,
team.
Miranda.
It's not team standard.
I know it's not team standard. I thought it was going to be team standard. We thought it was team standard when they announced it. Elijah Dorsey, West Coast Trials winner, 2024.
East Coast Trials winner.
East Coast. Thank you. I was like, I didn't go to West Coast Trials
That's
that
okay. Yeah, we didn't go.
year. He beats Nicky Ryan. Not a super exciting match, but a very, very well played match to beat Nicky Ryan.
And we think if Nicky Ryan actually ate that day,
Maybe
it
it would've
probably
been
would have
different.
been different.
That was a weird, but again, still beats him, knows how to beat him. Elijah Dorsey is incredibly frustrating as an elite competitor to fight against because he just knows how to enter like John Alves, where it's like he's just not going to give you a lot to work with.
Yeah.
And where he does give you time to work, he's going to be the better guy.
He also knows how to strategize very well.
Beautiful. Like again, that whole camp, man, some of the best strategists in the world, just phenomenally difficult to deal with. Beats Nicky Ryan at East Coast Trials 2024. Also beats Dante Leon in 2024. Really close match at ADCC. He does have that loss to PJ Barch via counter heel hook. He has some kind of a dotted record here and there, but go back and watch, or don't go back and watch it, but
because he's also lost to Joseph Chen.
Yeah, he has lost to Chen as well. The East Coast Trials match is always the match I really think about because it's like Nicky Ryan was on fire. That was like the best Nicky Ryan had looked in years. And then Elijah Dorsey just kind of goes, I'm just not going to give you anything to work with.
Yeah.
And because no one's playing into your game, I can just beat you this way.
Yeah.
It's just a masterful strategist, not necessarily the most exciting at all times, especially versus like elite level competition, but
sometimes
incredible game.
Sometimes you got to beat him by strategy.
And Dorsey is one of the best. Again, best guys to get diligent about a strategy and not like get overzealous and like let it slip away. He's gonna fight you where he wants to fight you, and you have to beat him in the way that he wants to fight you, which is incredibly hard at the highest level. Next one, we have Taylor Perlman, the actual wild card of this event. He's the ADCC European, Middle Eastern, and African Trials winner from 2024. He's the guy that heel hooked all 6 opponents with the same leg lock in that tournament to win trials, which we heard about that the day it happened. We watched it live, actually. It is wild because by like the 4th sub that happens, and trials for Europe isn't nearly as big as like the US trials. Yeah. You're hearing that that's happening. He's a guy that you know that's happening. By like the 4th guy, by the 5th guy, you're in the semifinals. You know, you've heard on the day, like, this is this guy. He's been doing this to everyone. Yeah. You know it's coming. The fact that everyone, like your quarterfinals, your semifinals, your finals, knew that he was hitting guys with that leg lock and still couldn't stop it just speaks to how good he is at like the leg game. If you literally can't stop it. So super, super impressive. That's mainly what we know Taylor Perlman from. We've seen him on some other stuff, but that performance always sticks out to me so like vividly because it is such a weird like record to have where it's like 6 wins all by submission. Again, to submit everyone in the trials is a big deal anyway. To do it with the same sub, and it was like a modern trials, 2024. It's not like he wasn't doing this in like 2014 when like the leg lock game wasn't nearly developed. He's doing this in a modern leg lock game, and Europe has some really good leg lockers. Taylor Perlman is one of them. That's just super impressive. So
but
look for him to take guys out.
I also find at a higher weight class, it's a lot less common. Like the smaller weight class guys are normally the ones that take everybody out by heel hook. The 66ers, the 77s.
Yeah, Taylor Perlman's under 99. Yeah. Like he's like Kyle Bain. You're like, hey man, you are big Dan. Yeah. You guys are too big to be this good at power leg locks.
Yeah, I don't really need you to rip my entire foot off.
Yeah. So so look out for that for Perlman. Moving on to Pat Downey. Downey's a weird one, man. He's been in a lot of stuff. He has that win over Luke Rockhold at CJI1. Yeah. Or did Rockhold beat him?
No.
He beat Rockhold. It was that was the controversial one that was
He beat Rockhold because Rockhold had a back injury that he didn't want to tell anybody about.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Even mostly wrestling accomplishments. He had a match with Gordon Ryan years ago that when he just started training jiu-jitsu. He's been on Third Coast Grappling. He's a wrestling champion.
Yeah, he's been on the world team for wrestling.
He's a national champion for U.S. Nationals in 2019, NCAA All-American in 2016. He trains locally. He trains like down the street from us.
Yeah,
you know,
he's done a lot of super fights recently. When I think about it,
yeah, but a lot of more local super fights. He's been on Fury a couple times, but overall, like, he is going to wrestle you down, and then if he gets an arm triangle, that's what he's going to get you with.
Yeah. And most people would know him as the dude who knocked another guy out at IBJJF and got banned for life.
Knock him out if he punched him.
Well, you put him out, and then he punched.
He put him out. And then
I guess he didn't knock him out.
Yeah. He got banned for 5 years from IBJJF. Like, overall, has had some.
Is it 5 years or forever?
I think it was 5 year. I think it was 5 year ban.
Yeah.
Purple belt now. He is a phenomenal wrestler that's making the transition over into jiu-jitsu, but we still haven't seen him really fight a lot of elite guys.
We haven't seen
jiu-jitsu.
him do a lot of the jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
He does a lot of the he does a lot of the wrestling in jiu-jitsu, but not a lot of the jiu-jitsu in jiu-jitsu.
But in this format, man, like, it's a very viable strategy. He's gonna be the best wrestler in this tournament by far.
I don't know about that. Well, like
Brandon Reed and Bo Nickal's not in here.
No, but are you saying in the super fight or no super?
Not the super fight. No,
I was about to say
he's not better than Gable.
I'm Gable. Only one person's beat Gable.
We gotta talk about that too next week, don't we?
Yeah, the one person that beat Gable, the guy from Oklahoma, that guy, the mustache.
Yeah. No, we gotta talk about Craig Jones in that match.
Yeah.
I'm gonna forget to talk about that.
Yeah, nah. That's gonna happen.
That is Team Misfits. I think a pretty fitting name for that crew, which I like. Again, I like a lot of these guys. They're like local to us. Like TLI is down the road. Fucking Pat Downey trains like 20 minutes from here.
Yeah,
with one of my old coaches.
But I think he's actually not here right now. I think he's down at.
Is he not Fight Sports anymore?
Yeah, I think he's at
he's at Fight Sports.
I think he went back to Fight Sports.
Okay, yeah, he
because Fight Sports is who gave him his purple belt.
Yeah, Cyborg gave him his purple belt.
I think shortly thereafter he went back to Fight Sports.
Okay, yeah, and he's been at Fight Sports off and on for a long time.
He was supposed to do Fury, and then he pulled out like the day of or like the day before.
Oh, he pulled out of Fury.
Yeah, he was the last Fury card. He wasn't on. I
thought he was on that. He was scheduled for it, and then he pulled out. Okay.
They had to replace him last minute, and I don't know what happened.
So that is Team Misfits, coached by Greg Souders. Now we are on to Team Europe, coached by Faris Bakeldman. I'm going to mess up that name, Miranda.
Faris. Ben Lackadam.
Mm-hmm. So, Team Europe, one of my favorite dudes. Owen Jones is your under 66 kilo guy. Owen Jones, fastest sub of ADCC 2024.
Yep.
Just like he's a great leg locker. He is a frustrating dude to deal with, and he's also has like other good flash subs, like his armbar over who do you count? Was it Garbov? Or was that leg lock? Or no, it was Gabriel Souza. He armbars Gabriel Souza at ADCC, and like is a beautiful transition armbar to get Gabriel Souza. He is your ADCC European, Middle Eastern, African champion for trials for 2023. ADCC World Champion 4th place 2024. Again, at 66 kilos, so one of the divisions that was not impacted by CJI. Think about that. Yeah. Like 77, 88, 99, you lost a bunch of guys. 66 didn't lose shit. That was as strong a division as you could have had. Places 4th in that as like either a brand new purple belt or like a brand new brown belt or like a really experienced purple belt. Yeah. But again, he's 20.
Yeah.
Dude is 20 and placed 4th at ADCC. And under 66.
He likes to do the reverse close guard.
Yeah.
Which is annoying as hell.
He's got really interesting that a lot of guys struggle with. Even like elite guys struggle with. He's got a fun style. He's got a fast style.
Because he's 20.
He's 20. He beat Asher Williams. Owen Jones is a guy that I'm super hot on. Also, he wore the Ravens jersey, the Ray Lewis rash guard ADCC, which is Baltimore for us. Yeah. I'm really hot on Owen Jones. And he was a guy I was like, when we were first watching him, I was like, I want to see where he goes.
Yeah.
And then he has consistently delivered like improvements and good matches over high level guys where it's like, oh yeah, he has an extremely bright future. Super happy to see him in this tournament just because, again, bigger matches. I'm curious how he's going to deal with the size difference for a lot of these guys as a smaller guy, but super hot on his game.
But
and
really,
I like
in
what
all
he's doing.
honesty, like as a smaller person in the room, you're in the room with the big people anyway.
Yeah.
Like it's not like you're not used to dealing. It's not like you only.
And he's 66.
Train.
He's not like a rooster weight or something like that. He is a 66.
But I mean, even as a rooster weight, you deal with big people every day.
There's that too.
You know. unless you are picking and choosing who you roll with 200 pounders no matter what.
Good point, Miranda.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We roll with big people all the time.
Yes, all the time. Next, we have Paolo Jaworski, the under 77 kilo for Team Europe. He is the CJI2. Sorry.
Oh, no, go.
He is the CJI2 European Trials winner.
He plays a very similar game to our friend Polish Mateusz.
Yes, he's buddy with Paul, like Mateusz Szczynski, who's known for like that shotgun angle lock where he keeps breaking everyone's leg with it,
and shotgun arm bars, and all kinds of crazy stuff.
Good friends with him. He has recent wins over Devontae Johnson, PJ Barch at Polaris Squads. He is also the Polaris Trials winner. I like to highlight the guys that win Polaris Trials because we've talked about it for years. These big tournaments like Polaris, like Kasai, and like Giles Trials, that run trials events. When lower belt guys win those, it is usually indicative of things to come later in their career. So winning Polaris Trials is a big deal, and also being good buddies with Mateusz Szczynski, who is a crazy submission hunter with some unorthodox submissions, to me speaks well for what Paolo Jaworski can do to your body.
Did you have that fact in your head?
What?
Because on there it says he won the Euro Trials, the CJI2 Euro Trials.
Yeah.
And the Grand Prix. Okay.
What fact in my head?
Just making sure that he won the Polaris.
Yeah, that was a me fact.
That was a you fact.
Yeah, that was a me fact.
Because I was like, did he just combine three of the things together as one? Because I've watched Powell, because he has a fun style.
Mm-hmm. Very fun. Next, we have our European wild card.
I like how you say European.
One of our favorite guys, Paul Ordilla.
He's probably one of the most handsome gentlemen of the bracket.
He's got to save some for the rest of us. ADCC Trials winner 3 times. He won in 2015, 2017, 2022. IBJJF World Championship back at Brown Belt, both gi and no gi. He's a full-time attorney, which Miranda brings up every time because it is absolutely insane. Out of Atlanta, right? Yeah, out of Atlanta, Georgia. He doesn't compete a whole lot. He's been competing more recently, but like doesn't compete a whole lot, and then will pop onto a trials and just win a trials, and you're like, dude, I'm sorry, what? You just can't. You're out of nowhere, just like I won trials again and again and again. Just super hard to beat. Again, his game is kind of tailor made for the ADCC style. Yeah, like he has good wins in IBJJF at the lower belts, but just good, like very prudent wrestler, good in front of you, good like submissions, good control game, ability to get on top, and like good passing. He's just sort of like a problem everywhere. And I think it's a great wild card to have like a really strong American wrestler out of like for Team Europe. Next, we have Charles Negromonte. You have anything you want to add here?
Nope.
Okay. Charles Negromonte, ADCC South American Trials winner 2024, IBJJF World Champion 2015, European No-Gi Champion 2015, AJP Pro, World Pro, 2-time champion 2018, 2020. He won. He's beat at the trials for 2024. He beat Izaki Bahens and Gabriel Almeida. Yeah. Just a problem. He has a win over Craig Jones back in the Dizzy at like brown belt and IBJJF. There's a knee bar. So Craig confused the shit out of us because like today or yesterday, he posted a video. It's this really cool inverted knee bar that Negromonte does off the bottom. It's basically a stand. It's kind of sort of like the knee bar that Elizabeth Clay does, but like differently.
You mean the one that, what's his name? Nothing. It was an inside joke that just didn't go anywhere.
Good.
Big Cheeks does. Yes.
It's an inverted knee bar that he hits, and then it looks like, and then Craig Jones is like, oh, he beat me. And we keep thinking that that's the video.
I can barely
Charles
see the video anyway.
It's all glary, but it's like it's that knee bar is not from the Craig Jones match. It's from a different tournament. But the way that Craig Jones says it, it makes it seem like he's watching him get submitted, and so it's confused the shit out of us. I had to go back and watch the IBJJF match with them. I'm like, cool, that is not the match. The Negromonte knee bar was off of like a different tournament pro series. He's just an interesting like guy. He's just hard to beat. He's got weird leg locks, and he's weirdly quick with the leg locks for a guy that's at under 99 kilos. A little on the older side, 36, but a veteran of the game. Again, you don't win Nogi Europeans and Europeans 10 years ago and not be still real good. Next one, rounding out Team Europe, we have Marcin Matulowicz. Again, another Polaris Trials winner.
Yep.
But I think one of the first Polaris Trials is like a purple belt or a brown belt.
Yeah.
And again, a really good leg locker. He's also the ADCC European, Middle Eastern, and African Trials winner in 2024 and IBJJF Nogi World Champion.
Yep.
I think this year or last year, like one of the, like recently.
Yeah.
I think it was 25. I think he won this year.
I think it was this year. Yeah.
Again, a guy I've been super hot on for a little bit. Ever since he won that Polaris Trials, he seems to be just getting better and better and better. We've seen him in the Polaris GP. Didn't do phenomenally in the Polaris GP, but again, that was one of his first forays into like the elite black belt levels of competition. He did have a good showing. I think he lost to Kainan Duarte in that tournament, but I could be wrong about that. Again, I like Marcin Machulowicz's game. He's even gotten bigger since then. He's 25. He's young. So look for him to kind of continue to rise. He is another really interesting guy to have on Team Europe. So that does it. That's the first 4 teams. Next week, New Wave, B Team, Atos, and Pedigo.
Yep.
So maybe some more of your more well-known and powerhouse teams.
Yep.
And also we're gonna talk about Craig Jones versus Stevenson.
We completely forgot to add this in news, but that they announced the new ADCC location for championships.
Poland, baby.
Poland.
Yep. 2026 is gonna be in Poland. They have dates too, don't they? I think we finally have dates as well.
We have dates for everything.
So I was talking to my wife about that, and
I want to go to Poland.
we're both like, let's go to Poland. So it'll be fun. I've got Rachel on board. So we're gonna, like, our passports are good. We're gonna. So I'm gonna start looking now. I'm like, I've been to the last couple of ADCCs. They've been awesome every time. It's inconvenient that it's not gonna be in North America, but also. I have a really good time whenever we go out to ADCC.
Yeah.
Like 2019 was great.
And I think if we,
was great.
especially if we have a group of us that we can kind of
distribute the cost
and distribute the chaos
hey
of
man,
like,
I don't speak any of this language.
Yeah.
I need help, Miranda.
Yeah.
Duolingo it up for me.
No, right now I'm Duolingoing Portuguese right now. But if you want to be added to my family plan, I can add you.
We just did a family plan. So Rachel and I are doing Japanese, and I'm doing music in Japanese.
Okay.
So it's like
why music?
I like music.
Okay.
So, but I'm not super happy with Duolingo for music, but the Japanese, I've learned about 15 words, and it's going slowly, but I'm excited because I'm like, oh, I know that word now. It's cool to be kind of entering back into like learning a new thing outside of like asbestos management or like something, like learning a new thing for interest and for fun. And like, cause we want to go to Japan for our honeymoon eventually, which will never happen at this point probably. Cause it's just been crazy. And now it's super expensive to go to Japan and it's this whole thing, but we're both going to learn Japan so that one day we can go and enjoy that. So it's been cool to learn.
You just got to spend the time and the money before the kids start popping out.
That's what
I mean, literally, you just got to do it. You got to be like,
you want to bring a
YOLO and just be
to
done.
Poland? I was like, we'll see. She goes, let's rip it.
Yeah.
So it'll be fun. But yeah, we're learning. I've got to add Polish. What language?
Polish.
Yeah, it's not German. It's Polish.
Yeah.
I got to add Polish to the Duolingo at least like 6 months out.
Yeah.
So that we can have one person. My dumb ass is gonna have to navigate the whole grappling run.
I'll add Polish to mine after when it gets closer. We'll add Polish.
And then so we can get there. Because again, I want to go. It'll be super fun. That's big news. It's been soft announced for a little bit now, but the official announcement came out, I think, last week.
Yeah.
So that would be good. So that's it. That's all I got. Next week we're going to run through the rest of the 4 teams, potentially talk about some of the rematches and matchups, but I don't want to get too in the weeds with that because, again, we don't have the bracketing yet for what team is going to face what team. And because there are so many like configurations of how the lineups and matchups could go, because we understand it to be truly like happening in a quintet style format, not in that ego format and not in the subversion format, which is just the straight up your 66er goes against the 66er. I understand it to be everyone can go against everyone in whatever lineup you choose. Like I could be wrong about that because they have defined weight classes.
That's what they have at least said so far.
Okay. But that is my understanding, so we're going to preview it like that. But yeah, I'm super amped for it. We're leaving in 2 weeks?
Yeah.
2 weekends, and then get out there. We'll hopefully do a podcast out in Vegas, probably talking about day 1. Maybe talk about day 2, but because we're there, I think we fly out Monday, but we'll see.
Who knows what we're going to talk about?
We're going to play it by ear. You're going to get something from us one of the days.
Yeah, let's hope that no one gets hurt between now and then.
It's going to happen.
You know,
it always happens. There should be an over-under for the bet for who gets hurt and when.
I'm legitimately going through Instagram right now because,
as is tradition on the Grappling Rewind, I press end on the show, and then we are in the kitchen talking and kind of shooting the shit after the podcast for another 30 minutes, and you're like, well, this person's hurt.
If you are there early, not like us, August 28th through 30th is Jiu-Jitsu Con. And they have 19 free seminars right now going on. And I've went to some of the seminars there. It looks like Buchecha is doing a seminar. It looks like Marcelo is doing
doing a seminar.
Hodger's doing a seminar.
Cool.
Lucas Laprie is doing a seminar. Leo Vieira and Jansen Gomez. Brawl.
Colabate's doing a seminar?
Colabate and his woman.
Andre Galvao.
Micah
Galvao. Baby Shark.
Buchecha.
Carlson
Gracie.
Yeah.
And these are all free seminars.
Elijah Dorsey's doing one.
Yeah, so as long as you go, it's free. Now it's in the gi.
I like the gi.
So,
but we want to fly with a gi out to Vegas.
Yeah.
Like, probably
a
not
lot of places will
CJI.
let you rent a gi.
Yeah. I was out in where were we? I was working at ADCC. I was working, I think it was either Dallas or it was...
You were in LA the one time.
Costa Mesa.
Yeah.
I think the Dallas one. Dallas. I dropped in. No, it might have been. I forget which one. I dropped in and they let me. I was like, it was a Habero affiliate.
Yeah.
Six Blades affiliate.
They let you rent gis for them.
Well, they just it was like I think it was a brown at the time, and they just let me. They was like, hey, I'm here. Like I had all my no-gi stuff because I was doing ADCC. I was judging ADCC. Yeah. And it was a gi open mat. And I showed up and I was like, hey, can I like, yeah, sure. And they're like, yeah, we had Sanjay coming one time and like we had to give him a brown belt because we didn't have an extra black belt to give him. And he was cool with it. I was like, oh, cool. So they let me train. But yeah, they just let me borrow a gi. And the community is really cool about that usually. Yeah. I showed up at my buddy's gym up in Hereford and I was literally up in the area picking up a keyboard, like a synthesizer. Yeah. And I was like, I'm not going to make it to my class. So like I'll pop into his gym. And I walked in and I was like, hey, can I train? And he was like, yeah, it's gi. I was like, cool, I don't have a belt. I don't have anything. So he gave me like a loaner gi and like a white belt. And none of his students, like he knew me, but none of his students knew me.
Fun.
I'm like, all right, Maine's going to teach today. And they all kind of looked at him and looked at me and went, something is not as it appears right now. And they very quickly figured out, like, oh, this dude's a black belt. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. But it was just a very funny, like the community is great like that, where a lot of times if you're a cool dude and you walk in, the community will kind of welcome you with open arms. And it's like, it's really cool to be part of a community that has that, which is, again, one of the reasons I'm super excited to go out to Vegas, because you're just around a bunch of jiu-jitsu people that are excited to be there. Yeah. All like in that community. And like, it's a really cool... Like even in the airport, you run into guys, you're like, oh yeah, ADCC shirt, CJI shirt. You're like, oh, we're all our guys.
Yeah, and on the airplane. My entire row on the airplane was going to ADCC.
Like J-Rod was on my plane once, and it was just like Buchecha was on your plane once. It's just cool to get the community together for these big events. So that's all I got, Miranda. Anything fun going on for your week?
No, I'm going to some kind of cash 185 tournament this weekend in Jersey. No, Delaware.
Delaware, Jersey.
Things actually happen in Delaware. Who knew?
Yeah. I think last fight was in Delaware.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the amateur fights are normally
in Delaware. There's one in Maryland coming up.
Virginia. Yeah, and like Western Maryland, right? Yeah.
The lawless land of Western Maryland.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got nothing else going on. I'm just prepping to start the university club back again because the students are coming back into session. Yeah. Prepping for CJI. Finished some work travel, so that was nice. And now just really, really just prepping for CJI and getting everything together to go out and enjoy that for 3 days. Yep. So that'll be it. Any closing thoughts?
Nope.
All right. As always on the show, I'm your host, Mange, my co-host,
Miranda.
And we are the Grappling Rewind. So no matter what it is, stay safe. If you like the show, please consider sharing it on Facebook with the folks at your gym. It's the best way that we grow the show, and we really appreciate it. You can reach out to us on email.
We also have Instagram. We have Facebook. We have Twitter. We have Google+.
Until that shuts down.
We have a website.
If you have an event you would like to have us cover, please let us know. If you have a name, like most people do, and you'd like to have us stop butchering it,
let us know.
Reach out to us. The show is also available on YouTube, Spotify, in addition to iTunes and every other podcast service. We very much appreciate your time, and thank you.